The photo was sent. Lisa Williams stared at her phone screen, her stomach dropping like a stone through ice water. The tiny delivered notification sat there beneath the image, mocking her with its quiet finality. A photo that was supposed to go to her friend Rachel for a nervous second opinion, not to whoever Demelo was in her contacts. She zoomed in on the image with trembling fingers. There she was, in the dusty rose bralette she'd panic bought at 2 a.m. during an insomnia scroll, the one that still had the tags on it until 20 minutes ago. Her hair was down, soft waves she'd actually managed without burning herself. The lighting was warm and flattering. Her smile looked confident, maybe even a little mysterious. Professional. Put together. And it was now in the hands of a complete stranger. But that wasn't even the worst part. Below the photo sat a second message. A string of glittery rainbow heart emojis. 3 unicorn stickers. And a voice note. Lisa's hand shook as she tapped it. Hi, Mama's friend. Mommy looks so pretty. Do you like unicorns? I like unicorns. And also dinosaurs. Okay, bye. Nadine's sweet, gap-toothed voice chirped through the speaker, ending with a wet kissing sound. No. No, 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 Lisa whispered, her voice climbing higher with each word as she spun around, eyes searching the small living room. There. Nadine sat cross-legged on the floor in her frozen pajamas, surrounded by a battlefield of crayons and paper, humming Let It Go off-key, completely unaware that she'd just detonated a nuclear bomb in her mother's life. But let's rewind, because 30 minutes earlier Lisa R. Williams had been having the worst month of her 28 years on this planet. It started when her biggest client, Green Vibe Organics, the local juice company that actually paid their invoices only 2 weeks late instead of 6, sent her an email with the subject line, "Going in a different direction." Translation: they'd hired some fresh-out-of-college designer who'd work for exposure and oat milk. There went the $3,000 she'd already mentally spent on Nadine's preschool tuition and that terrifying grinding sound her car was making. Then, because the universe had a sick sense of humor, her ex-boyfriend, Nadine's father, the man who'd promised her forever and delivered 18 months before vanishing to find himself, posted a photo on social media. There he was on a mountain summit at sunrise with some woman in athletic wear, both of them grinning like they'd discovered the meaning of life. The caption read, "Finally living authentically." Lisa had been sitting at her kitchen table, which was really just a repurposed door balanced on cinder blocks because real furniture was a luxury, still in the same coffee-stained tank top she'd worn for 2 days, eating cereal for dinner at 9 p.m. while Nadine slept in the next room. Her laptop was open to her bank account, $347.82. She'd stared at that number, then at her ex's stupid enlightened face, then at the overdue notice from the electric company. He found himself on a mountain, she muttered to the empty kitchen. I can't even find matching socks. Her phone had buzzed. A text from Rachel. Rachel, that artist networking thing is tomorrow night. You're going. I don't want to hear excuses. Lisa, I'm a single mom with a design degree and $347 to my name. I don't network. I survive. Rachel, which is exactly why you need this. Everyone there hires based on vibes now. Your headshot is from college. You had bangs, Lisa. Bangs. Lisa had snort-laughed despite herself, nearly choking on her off-brand Cheerios. Rachel had a point. Her current profile photo was from 6 years ago, before Nadine, before the exhaustion permanently carved itself under her eyes, before she understood that wine mom wasn't a joke but a lifestyle. Every design influencer she followed preached the same gospel. Your brand is you. Sell yourself first, your work second. She'd been selling herself as a 22-year-old with questionable bangs and no concept of what tired actually meant. Rachel, take a confidence shot. Something that says, I'm creative, competent, and worth $150 per hour, not, I haven't slept since 2019. Lisa, bold of you to assume I've slept since 2019. Rachel, Lisa. Lisa, fine. Fine. But if this doesn't work, I'm joining a cult. At least they provide housing. She'd laughed, but the idea had wormed into her brain. Not a thirst trap, God no, but something confident. Something that looked like she had her life together, even if her office was a kitchen table and her work wardrobe was whatever didn't have visible stains. So that night, after Nadine had been bathed, read 3 picture books, negotiated down from 4, and finally tucked into bed with Mr. Hoppy the ancient stuffed rabbit, Lisa had done something reckless. She'd locked her bedroom door, dug through her drawer past the sports bras held together by prayer, and found the dusty rose bralette. The one she'd bought during a 2 a.m. treat-yourself breakdown, telling herself she deserved one nice thing. It still had the tags on. She'd cleared the laundry off her bed, propped her phone up on a stack of design books, fought with the lighting for 15 frustrating minutes, trying to find an angle that said, "Hire me," and not, "I'm one minor inconvenience away from a breakdown." Her phone storage was full, 200 photos of Nadine making faces, so she'd had to delete half of them, which felt like a betrayal. She'd taken 47 test shots. In one, her arm looked weird. In another, her smile looked like she was being held hostage. In another, you could see the laundry basket in the background. But finally, she got one. Warm lighting. Soft smile. Hair cooperating. The bralette looking elegant instead of desperate. She looked good. Confident. Like a woman someone would trust with their brand. Maybe even like a woman who had her life together. She'd felt ridiculous and empowered at the same time. Lisa had typed out a message to Rachel. Too much? Be honest. I can't tell if this says, creative professional, or cry for help. Then she'd set the phone down on her dresser to grab her robe, just for a second. That was her first mistake. Her second mistake was forgetting that Nadine had recently cracked the parental lock code by watching Lisa type it in 67 times. Her third mistake was not questioning why a contact labeled J. Demelo had mysteriously appeared in her phone last week after she'd crashed that Chamber of Commerce mixer for the free coffee and mini quiches. By the time Lisa came back from the bathroom, Nadine had toddled into the bedroom in her footy pajamas, grabbed the phone, and, judging by the evidence, decided that Mommy needed help sharing her picture with all her friends. Starting with the J's. There's so much more to this story. Subscribe to catch it all, and say hi in the comments with where you're from. Every view helps us create more. Now, Lisa stood frozen in her living room, watching 3 dots appear on the screen. J. Demelo is typing. Her heart stopped. The message appeared. J. Demelo. Unexpected portfolio delivery method. The unicorn consultation is noted. My office will contact you tomorrow. Lisa's jaw went slack. Portfolio? Office? She didn't have a client named Demelo. She barely had any client. Who the hell was? Her fingers flew across Google. J. Demelo. The results loaded. Her vision blurred at the edges. Jason Demelo, CEO, Sentinel Security Solutions, EST net worth. $400 million plus. She clicked images. A man in a charcoal suit, jaw sharp enough to cut glass, eyes like frozen smoke. He stood on courthouse steps surrounded by lawyers. At a gala with senators. Outside a sleek high-rise that looked like it cost more than her entire neighborhood. But it was the article headline that made her blood turn to ice. The Ghost King. Jason Demelo's empire built in shadows. Lisa's knees buckled. She sat down hard on the couch. She'd just sent a lingerie photo, and her 5-year-old daughter's voice note about unicorns, to a Mafia boss. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number, Ms. Williams. Mr. Demelo requests your presence tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sentinel Tower, 40th floor. A car will collect you at 9:30. Childcare arrangements available if needed. The panic crystallized into something sharper. Something protective and feral. They knew where she lived. They knew about Nadine. Lisa's fingers shook as she typed back. Lisa, I don't know what you think this is, but that photo was an accident. My daughter sent it. Delete it and lose this number. The reply was instant. Unknown number. Mr. Demelo is aware of the circumstances. He still expects you at 10 a.m. He has questions about your daughter's communication style. Dress professionally. Lisa's mama bear rage collided head-on with her terror. This man, this dangerous man, knew about her baby. Wanted to ask about her. Expected Lisa to just show up? Mommy! Nadine's small voice cut through the spiral. She stood there in her pajamas, holding up a crayon drawing of a lopsided unicorn. Why does your face look scary? Lisa looked at her daughter, her whole world, her reason for surviving on cereal dinners and $347 bank accounts, and felt something shift in her chest. She pulled Nadine into her lap, breathing in the strawberry shampoo scent of her hair. Mommy's not scared, baby, she lied, voice steady even as her heart hammered. Mommy's just figuring something out. Nadine snuggled closer. Did I do something wrong with your phone? Lisa closed her eyes, kissed her daughter's wild curls, and made a decision. Tomorrow, she'd walk into that tower. She'd face this Jason Demelo, Mafia boss or not. And she'd make damn sure he understood one thing. You don't mess with a single mom who's got nothing left to lose except her kid. Even if she had to do it in her Target clearance blazer, and the same dusty rose bralette that started this whole nightmare. No, baby, Lisa whispered, holding Nadine tighter. You didn't do anything wrong. But somebody's about to, she thought grimly, staring at the unknown number on her screen. And his name was Jason Demelo. Jason Demelo didn't get interrupted during meetings. It was an unspoken rule, the kind that didn't need to be written down because everyone who worked for him valued their kneecap. So when his phone buzzed on the polished mahogany table during a particularly tense negotiation with the Castellano family's representatives, every man in the room went still. Jason glanced at the screen. An unknown number. A photo notification. He almost ignored it. Then he saw the preview image. His eyebrow lifted a fraction. The most emotion anyone in the room had seen from him in 20 minutes of discussion about territorial disputes and profit margins. Excuse me, he said, voice flat and final. He picked up the phone and opened the message. The photo loaded. Jason's lips twitched. Just barely. But in a room full of men trained to read microexpressions for survival, it might as well have been a laugh. A woman. Late 20s, maybe early 30s. Dusty rose bralette, soft lighting, cautious smile. Pretty. Natural. The kind of photo someone took after talking themselves into it 12 times. Not professional. Not calculated. Definitely not meant for him. Below it, a string of rainbow hearts, 3 unicorn stickers, and a voice note. Now that was interesting. Jason clicked the voice note, holding the phone close to his ear. Hi, Mama's friend. Mommy looks so pretty. Do you like unicorns? I like unicorns. And also dinosaurs. Okay, bye. A child. Young. 5, maybe 6 years old. The voice was sweet, gap-toothed, completely innocent. Jason set the phone down, face carefully neutral, but something flickered behind his eyes. Amusement. Curiosity. The kind of puzzle he couldn't resist. Gentlemen, he said to the room, his tone making it clear the meeting was over. We'll continue this tomorrow. Vince will see you out. The Castellano reps knew better than to argue. They filed out in silence. The moment the door clicked shut, Jason's phone lit up again. A text from the same number. Unknown. Oh my God, I am so sorry, that wasn't meant for you. I don't even know who you are. My daughter got my phone. Please delete that, please. Another text, seconds later. Unknown. This is so embarrassing. I'm not a creep. I promise this was an accident. Unknown. Please just delete it and forget this happened. Jason leaned back in his chair, a ghost of a smile playing at his mouth. The typos. The panic. The escalating desperation. This wasn't a setup. He'd seen enough honey traps and blackmail attempts to spot them from a mile away. This was genuine chaos. A woman. A child. An accident that landed in his lap. He forwarded the photo and messages to Vince with a single instruction: full background check. Discreet. I want everything: financials, employment, the kid's school, who she buys coffee from. 1 hour. Then he typed a response to the unknown number, weighing each word. Jason. Unexpected portfolio delivery method. The unicorn consultation is noted. My office will contact you tomorrow. He hit send, already imagining her panic. Vince appeared in the doorway 60 seconds later, phone in hand, eyebrow raised in question. Someone just made a very interesting mistake, Jason said, his voice low and thoughtful. I want to know everything about her. And I want to know why my personal number is in her phone. Because that was his personal line. The one only 5 people in the world had. The one he'd had Vince plant in select contacts 3 weeks ago after seeing a woman at a Chamber of Commerce event, a tired single mother in a blazer 2 sizes too big, who'd grabbed 6 free coffee cups and stuffed mini quiches into her purse when she thought no one was looking. She'd intrigued him then. Now she'd sent him a photo and a unicorn voice note. Jason Demelo didn't believe in accidents, but he was very interested in finding out if this one was real. Lisa didn't sleep. How could she? Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that message. My office will contact you tomorrow. By 7 a.m., she was a zombie running on gas station coffee and pure anxiety, sitting across from Rachel at their usual corner booth at Moe's Diner. Nadine was safely at preschool, oblivious to the fact that her unicorn voice note might have just gotten her mother killed. So let me get this straight, Rachel said, gripping her mug like a lifeline. You sent a thirst trap to a stranger, and you're worried about what, awkwardness? It wasn't a thirst trap, it was a confidence shot for networking, Lisa hissed. And I didn't send it. Nadine did. To someone called J. Demelo. Do you know who that is? Rachel's face drained of color so fast Lisa thought she might pass out. Please tell me you're joking. Do I look like I'm joking? Lisa. Rachel set down her mug with shaking hands. Jason Demelo is the Ghost CEO. He runs Sentinel Security Solutions, but that's just the front. Everyone knows he controls half the city. The docks, the real estate, she lowered her voice to a whisper. The underworld stuff. People who cross him don't just get fired, Lisa. They disappear. The coffee in Lisa's stomach turned to acid. You're saying I accidentally sent a bra photo to a mob boss? Not just any mob boss. The mob boss. The one even the cops won't touch. He's... Rachel's eyes went wide, fixed on something behind Lisa's shoulder. Lisa turned. A man stood beside their booth. Tall, mid-40s, expensive suit that probably cost more than her rent. His smile was polite, professional, and absolutely terrifying in its calmness. Ms. Williams. His voice was smooth as expensive whiskey. My name is Vince. I work for Mr. Demelo. Lisa's heart stopped. I'm here to confirm your appointment. Today, 10 a.m., Sentinel Tower, 40th floor. A car will collect you at 9:30 sharp from your residence. He paused, pulling out a sleek black business card and placing it on the table. Mr. Demelo understands how busy mothers are, especially with young children. He's arranged for a professional childcare service to collect Nadine from Little Sprouts Preschool if needed. She'll be perfectly safe. The blood drained from Lisa's face. He knew Nadine's name. He knew her school. Don't you dare. Lisa started to rise, mama bear instinct overriding survival instinct. Vince held up a hand, his smile never wavering. A precaution, Ms. Williams. Mr. Demelo simply wants to ensure you can attend without worry. The car will be outside your apartment, Unit 4B, yes. At 9:30. I'd suggest business casual. He nodded politely to Rachel, who looked like she might faint, then walked out of the diner as smoothly as he'd appeared. Lisa stared at the business card. Embossed silver lettering on black. Vincent Rossi, Executive Associate, Sentinel Security Solutions. Below it, handwritten in neat script, Mr. Demelo appreciates punctuality. Lisa, Rachel whispered, grabbing her hand. What are you going to do? Lisa looked at her friend, then at the card, then at the clock on the wall. 2 hours until a mobster's car showed up at her apartment. 2 hours to figure out how to protect her daughter from a man who already knew everything about them. I'm going to that meeting, Lisa said, her voice steadier than she felt. And I'm going to make sure Jason Demelo understands that if he touches one hair on my daughter's head, mob boss or not, he'll regret it. Rachel looked at her like she'd lost her mind. Maybe she had. But she was a mother first, and terrified came second. The car was a black Mercedes that cost more than Lisa had earned in the past 3 years. She sat in the back seat wearing her one good blazer, the Target clearance rack special, with her hands clenched so tight her knuckles were white. The driver hadn't spoken once during the 20-minute ride. Sentinel Tower loomed above the city like a glass and steel monument to power. The kind of building that made you feel small just looking at it. Lisa was escorted through a lobby that looked like it had been designed by someone who thought marble and intimidation were the same thing. Private elevator. 40th floor. The doors opened directly into a penthouse office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the entire city. And standing at those windows, hands in his pockets, was Jason Demelo. He turned and Lisa's breath caught. The photos hadn't done him justice. He was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a charcoal suit that fit like it had been sewn onto him. Dark hair, sharp jaw, and eyes that looked like smoke and steel, cold, assessing, dangerous. Ms. Williams. His voice was deep, controlled. Thank you for coming. I didn't have much choice, Lisa said, hating how her voice shook. Jason's lips twitched. Almost a smile. Please sit. I'd rather stand. Suit yourself. He moved to his desk, leaning against it with casual confidence that men like him wore like armor. I assume you know why you're here. Lisa's fear warred with something hotter, sharper. She thought of Nadine at preschool, singing songs and playing with blocks, completely unaware that some monster in an expensive suit knew her name and where she went to school. The fear lost. You need to delete that photo, Lisa said, her voice suddenly steel. And you need to forget my daughter exists. Jason's eyebrow lifted slightly. Excuse me. You heard me. Lisa took a step forward, her hands shaking but her voice gaining strength. I don't know what kind of game this is to you, some bored crime lord getting his kicks threatening single moms, but my daughter is 5 years old. She made a mistake. I made a mistake. But if you think for 1 second I'm going to let you use her as leverage or whatever sick thing you're planning. Ms. Williams. No. Lisa's voice cracked like a whip. You don't get to Ms. Williams me. You sent your guy to my diner. You mentioned her school. You think that doesn't terrify me? You think I don't know what you are. She was in front of his desk now, close enough to see the flecks of silver in his eyes, close enough to be stupid, but she didn't care. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to delete that photo, you're going to forget you ever got it, and you're going to leave me and my daughter alone. Because I've got nothing left to lose except her, and I swear to God, mob boss or not, if you touch one hair on her head, I will burn your whole world down. The office went silent. Jason stared at her, his expression unreadable. Then, slowly, something shifted in his face. The cold calculation melted into something else. Surprise. Respect. Maybe even amusement? You're threatening me, he said quietly. In my own office. Yes, Lisa said, chin raised despite the terror screaming through her veins. I am. Jason Demelo did something then that his associates would later claim they'd never seen in 15 years. He smiled. A real one. Sit down, Ms. Williams, he said, his voice softer now. We need to talk. Lisa didn't sit. Not at first. She stood there, breathing hard, waiting for the other shoe to drop. For the threat. For whatever cruel game men like him played. Jason reached for his phone on the desk, tapped the screen a few times, then turned it toward her. There, he said simply. Deleted. From my phone, my cloud, my messages. You have my word. Lisa stared at the empty message thread. Your word? You're a crime lord. Which is exactly why my word means something, Jason said, his tone dry. Men in my position can't afford to lie about the small things. It destroys credibility. How comforting, Lisa muttered, but some of the tension bled from her shoulders. Jason set the phone aside and studied her with those unnerving steel-gray eyes. You came here expecting blackmail. Or worse. Can you blame me? No, he admitted. But that's not why you're here. Sit. Please. This time Lisa sat. Mostly because her legs were shaking. Jason moved around the desk, not sitting behind it but leaning against the front edge, closer to her level. A calculated move to seem less intimidating. It didn't quite work. Accidents in my world are expensive, Ms. Williams, he said. They cause problems. Create liabilities. Your daughter's innocent mistake connected you to me, and that connection has implications. Lisa's hands clenched. If you think I'm going to, I'm offering you a job. That stopped her cold. What? A contract position with Sentinel Security. Graphic design, branding, visual communications for our legitimate operations. He pulled a folder from his desk and set it in front of her. $60,000 a year to start. Flexible hours. Remote work when needed. Full benefits, including health insurance and a childcare stipend. Lisa's mouth went dry. $60,000. That was more than double what she'd scraped together last year. Why? She whispered. Because you're talented, Jason said simply. I've seen your portfolio. And because accidents in my world are expensive. Consider this your payment for the inconvenience. And the protection. Protection. From this moment forward, you and your daughter are under my protection, Jason said, his voice dropping into something darker, something absolute. No one touches you. No one threatens you. You have my guarantee. Lisa should have been relieved. Instead, her stomach twisted. What's the catch? No catch. Just curiosity. Jason's expression shifted slightly, something almost human flickering across his face. Your daughter, Nadine. The voice note she sent, she seemed spirited. Every maternal alarm bell in Lisa's body started screaming. Don't. I'm not threatening her, Ms. Williams. I'm asking about her. He paused, and for the first time, he looked almost uncertain. Does she really like both unicorns and dinosaurs? Or was that just a 5-year-old covering all the bases? Lisa blinked. Of all the questions she'd expected from a mob boss, that wasn't one of them. She've both, Lisa said slowly. She says unicorns are magical but dinosaurs are realistic cool. Jason's mouth twitched into something that might have been a smile. Smart kid. She is, Lisa said, her voice turning protective again. Which is why I need to know, why do you care? Jason met her eyes, and for a moment, the dangerous crime lord facade cracked, just enough to show something genuine underneath. Because I'd like to meet her, he said quietly. Properly. You're actually considering this? Rachel's voice pitched high enough to shatter glass. They were back at Moe's diner, same booth, different crisis. $60,000, Rachel. With benefits. Do you know what benefits are? I've been buying Nadine's antibiotics from a Canadian pharmacy website for 2 years. He's a mobster. He's also offering me more money in 1 year than I made in the last 3 combined. Lisa shoved a fry in her mouth, stress eating her way through the decision. And he deleted the photo. He didn't have to do that. He wants to meet Nadine. I know. That part still twisted Lisa's stomach into knots. But what if he's genuine? What if this really is just a weird job offer? Rachel stared at her like she'd sprouted a second head. Mob. Boss. Single. Mom. Lisa shot back. Rachel, Nadine needs new shoes. Again. Her feet won't stop growing. And the preschool tuition is due, and my car is making a sound like a dying whale, and I have $300 in my bank account. Rachel's expression softened. Lise. I have to do this, Lisa whispered. For her. The next Monday, Lisa walked into Sentinel Security Solutions wearing her blazer and her best, "I'm a professional adult" expression. The office was nothing like she'd expected. No shadowy back rooms or suspicious characters. Just sleek glass walls, state-of-the-art tech everywhere, and employees who looked like they'd walked out of a startup recruitment ad. The design department was on the 32nd floor, 8 floors below Jason's penthouse, and her new supervisor, a cheerful woman named Kira, handed her a top-of-the-line laptop and a company phone without mentioning crime even once. "We're rebranding the client portal," Kira explained. "Mr. Demelo wants it to feel secure but approachable. He said you'd understand the aesthetic." Lisa dove into the work, and for 6 blissful hours, she almost forgot who she was working for. Until she got home. A package sat outside her apartment door. Large, elegant, wrapped in silver paper with a cream ribbon. Lisa's hands shook as she brought it inside. Nadine was already tearing at the wrapping before Lisa could stop her. "Mommy! Mommy, look!" Inside was a tablet. Not just any tablet. A top-tier model with a shock-proof case covered in holographic unicorns and dinosaurs. A handwritten note sat on top. For Nadine. Preloaded with educational apps and parental controls. The unicorn dinosaur case seemed like a logical compromise. JD. It has games. Nadine shrieked, already powering it on. Lisa stared at the note, her throat tight. He'd remembered. The unicorns and dinosaurs. He'd actually listened. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number that she somehow knew was him. Jason. First day impressions? Lisa's fingers hovered over the keyboard. She should be terrified. She should throw the tablet away and run. Instead, she typed, "Lisa, the tablet is too much. Jason, she's 5. Everything is too much at 5. Does she like it?" Lisa looked at Nadine, who was giggling at something on the screen, her whole face lit up with joy. "Lisa, she loves it. Thank you. Jason, good. See you Friday. We need to discuss the rebrand. And other things." Lisa's stomach flipped. She'd just accepted a deal with the devil. She just hoped the devil actually liked unicorns and dinosaurs. Lisa had been working for Sentinel Security for 2 weeks when the flowers arrived. They were delivered to Little Sprouts Preschool, addressed to Nadine. 24 black roses in a crystal vase with a card that made Lisa's blood run cold. Such a pretty little girl. It would be a shame if something happened to her. Tell Demelo the South Side remembers. The preschool director had called immediately, her voice shaking. Lisa had broken every traffic law getting there, finding Nadine safe but confused about why Mommy looked so scared. Lisa's hands trembled as she photographed the card and texted Jason. She didn't even think twice about it. "Lisa, someone sent flowers to Nadine's school." There was a threat. The response was instant. "Jason, take Nadine home. Lock the doors. Vince is already on his way to you." "I'm handling this." Handling this turned out to mean Lisa sitting in her apartment with Vince posted outside her door and 2 other silent men in dark suits stationed in the parking lot, while Jason did whatever Jason did. He showed up at her door 3 hours later. Lisa had never seen him like this. The polished CEO veneer was gone. His jaw was tight, his knuckles were bruised, and there was a coldness in his eyes that made her take an involuntary step back. "It's done," he said simply. "What's done?" Lisa whispered. Nadine was asleep in the bedroom, thank God. "The Castellano family thought they could use you to send me a message." Jason's voice was flat, empty of emotion. "They were wrong. It won't happen again." "What did you do?" Jason looked at her, and for the first time, she saw exactly what he was. Not the man who sent thoughtful gifts or smiled at unicorn voice note. The man who ruled the underworld with an iron fist. "What I had to," he said. "To keep you safe." Lisa's stomach turned. "Did you? Are they?" "They're alive," Jason said. But they understand now that you and Nadine are untouchable. That anyone who even looks at you wrong will answer to me. He stepped closer, his voice dropping. This is what my protection means, Lisa. It's not just a job contract and health insurance. It's me making sure that every criminal in this city knows that hurting you is a death sentence. Lisa should have been horrified, should have grabbed Nadine and run. But all she could think about was that card. Such a pretty little girl. They threatened my daughter, she said quietly. And they'll never threaten her again, Jason said, his voice like steel. I promise you that. Lisa looked up at him. This dangerous, ruthless man who'd just done God knows what to protect a child he'd never even met, and felt something shift inside her chest. Thank you, she whispered. Jason's expression softened just slightly. You're under my protection now. Both of you. That's not a metaphor, Lisa. That's a fact. He turned to leave, then paused at the door. The flowers have been disposed of. I've assigned a security detail to Nadine's school. They'll be invisible, but they'll be there. His eyes met hers. No one will touch her. Ever. Then he was gone, leaving Lisa standing in her living room, finally understanding the terrible, comforting truth. She'd made a deal with a monster. But he was her monster now. And somehow that made all the difference. The call came during lunch. Nadine's new tablet, the one Jason had given her, started ringing with a video call from an unknown number. Lisa almost didn't answer. Then she saw Nadine's face on the preview screen. Her daughter was crying. Nadine! Lisa screamed, accepting the call. The video showed Nadine in the back of a car, tears streaming down her face, a man's hand visible on her shoulder. Her preschool uniform. Mr. Hoppy clutched to her chest. Mommy! Nadine sobbed. I want to go home. A man's voice, distorted. Tell Demelo he has 2 hours to meet our terms. Warehouse on Pier 17. Come alone or the girl disappears. Permanently. The call ended. Lisa couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Her baby, her baby. She called Jason. He answered before the first ring finished. They took her, Lisa gasped. They took Nadine. Pier 17. 2 hours. Jason, they have my... I'm coming to you. Now. Don't move. His voice was deadly calm, but she could hear something underneath. Rage. Pure, focused rage. He arrived in 12 minutes with Vince and a team. Lisa was already grabbing her coat. You're not going, Jason said. The hell I'm not. Lisa whirled on him. That's my daughter. Which is exactly why you need to stay. No. Lisa's voice cracked like a whip. You don't get to protect me from this. She's mine, Jason. And I'm going to get her back. Jason stared at her, jaw tight. Then he nodded once. Vince, vest her. She stays behind me at all times. The warehouse was dark, cavernous, smelling of salt and rust. Lisa's heart hammered so hard she thought it might break through her ribs. Jason moved like a predator, his men fanning out in formation. Then she heard it. Nadine crying. Mommy! Lisa's head snapped toward the sound. There, in the corner office, visible through grimy windows, Nadine sat on a chair, 2 men standing guard. 8 hostiles, Vince murmured into his calm, 2nd floor, east side. Wait. Lisa grabbed Jason's arm, her designer brain suddenly clicking into overdrive. That office. I know that layout. I did a renovation proposal for this building 6 months ago. Her words tumbled out fast. There's a maintenance access behind that wall. It connects to the office through a storage panel. They won't see you coming. Jason's eyes locked on hers. You're sure? I designed the proposal. I'm sure. He nodded to Vince. Take Team 2 through the access point. We'll provide distraction from the front. It happened fast. Jason's team stormed the front while Vince's team breached from behind. The gunfire was brief, controlled. Professional. Then Jason emerged from the office, carrying Nadine. Lisa ran. She didn't care about bullets or danger or anything except her daughter. Mommy! Nadine launched herself into Lisa's arms, sobbing. I was so scared. I've got you, baby. I've got you. Lisa held her so tight, breathing in her strawberry shampoo, feeling her solid and real and safe. Jason stood back, watching them, his expression unreadable. Blood on his knuckles. Dangerous and deadly. But when Nadine reached out a small hand toward him, whispering, "Thank you," something in his face cracked. "You did this," he said quietly to Lisa. "The access point. You saved her." Lisa met his eyes over Nadine's head. "We saved her," she corrected. "Together." And in that moment, everything changed. Nadine fell asleep in Lisa's arms on the drive back, clutching Mr. Hoppy and occasionally hiccuping from leftover tears. Lisa sat in the back of Jason's SUV, stroking her daughter's hair, unable to stop touching her, confirming she was real and safe and here. Jason sat across from them, silent, watching. When they arrived at Lisa's apartment, he carried Nadine inside and waited while Lisa tucked her into bed. Extra nightlight, extra blankets, an extra kiss on her forehead. When Lisa finally emerged from the bedroom, Jason was standing by her window, hands in his pockets, looking out at the city he controlled. "It's done," he said quietly. "The Castellanos have been neutralized. Permanently. No one will come for you again. I've made sure of it." "How?" Lisa's voice was hoarse. "You don't want to know." He turned to face her. "But you and Nadine are untouchable now. I've put the word out across every family, every crew, every corner of this city. You're mine to protect. Forever." The weight of that word, forever, hung in the air between them. "Why?" Lisa whispered. "Why go this far for us?" Jason was quiet for a long moment. Then, 3 weeks ago you crashed a Chamber of Commerce mixer. You were wearing a blazer 2 sizes too big, and you stuffed mini quiches into your purse, when you thought no one was looking. Lisa's face flamed. "You saw that." "I saw you," Jason said softly. "Tired, struggling, but you were there anyway, trying. For her. You were talking to some real estate developer about design work, and Nadine called. You stepped outside to take it, and I heard you tell her a bedtime story over the phone because you'd missed tucking her in." His voice dropped. "You were the most real person in that room full of fakes." Lisa's breath caught. "Jason. I had Vince add my personal number to your contacts that night," he admitted. "I thought maybe you'd call professionally. Maybe I'd find a reason to hire you, get to know you properly." He laughed, short and sharp. "I didn't expect your daughter to send me a lingerie photo and a voice note about unicorns." "Oh my God." Lisa's hand flew to her mouth. "This whole time, the accident was half accident, half design," Jason finished. "I gave you the opportunity. Nadine provided the chaos." His expression softened. "And you walked into my office and threatened a crime lord to protect your child. You were magnificent." Lisa didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You're insane." "Probably." He took a step closer. "But I'm your insane now. If you'll have me. You manipulated this entire situation." "Yes." "You put your number in my phone without asking." "Yes." "You're a literal crime lord." "Also yes." "And I should be furious," Lisa finished, but she was moving toward him anyway, pulled by something she couldn't name. "Are you?" Jason asked, his voice low. "Furious." Lisa looked up at him. This dangerous, ruthless man who'd saved her daughter, who'd noticed her when she was invisible, who'd somehow seen past the tired single mom to the woman underneath. "No," she whispered. "I'm terrified. But not of you." "Then what?" "That this is real. That I want it to be." Jason's hand came up to cup her face, thumb brushing her cheekbone. "It's real, Lisa. The most accidentally perfect thing that's ever happened to me." She laughed, tears pricking her eyes. "A 5-year-old sent you a thirst trap. And I'm keeping both of you," Jason murmured, leaning down. "Forever." The kiss was soft, gentle, nothing like the dangerous man he was. Lisa melted into it, her hands gripping his shirt, finally letting herself fall. When they broke apart, Jason rested his forehead against hers. "Thank you," he whispered, "for the accidental text message." Lisa smiled against his mouth. "Thank Nadine. She has excellent taste in contacts." From the bedroom, a sleepy voice called out, "Mommy? Is the nice man still here?" Lisa and Jason looked at each other. "Yeah, baby," Lisa called back, her eyes never leaving Jason's. "He's still here." "Good," Nadine yawned. "He's my friend now." Jason smiled, that real, genuine smile that transformed his whole face. "Yeah," he said softly, pulling Lisa closer. "I am." And for the first time in years, Lisa Williams felt completely, impossibly safe. All because of a tiny thumbprint, a misplaced photo, and a mafia boss who'd been waiting for her all along. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe for more beautiful stories, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing how far these stories travel.